Good evening, everyone. This is Mellissa Thomas of Florida National News coming to you with the evening news rundown for your Monday, June 1st, 2020. Hopefully, our Floridian residents are now ready and stocked up as today is the official start of hurricane season. So please stay safe where you guys are. Speaking of safety, we always like to bring you guys the latest reports globally in the US and in the state of Florida. So, starting globally, according to the World Health Organization, we are at over 6 million confirmed cases and over 371,000 confirmed deaths. Here in the United States, according to the CDC, we're seeing over 1.78 million confirmed cases and over 104,000 confirmed deaths. According to the Florida Department of Health, we're reporting over 56,800 confirmed cases, and we are right at 2,460 confirmed deaths. Now, jumping to your world story very quickly, Denmark and Norway have announced that they're easing their travel arrangements. So tourism is now allowed between the two nations. However, Sweden got the cold shoulder on this one. Sweden, as of right now, is the only nation that didn't do a lockdown for COVID-19. And as a result, they've sustained 4,000 confirmed deaths there. And because of that risk, Denmark and Norway they didn't want to risk the success that they've had given the safety measures that they've implemented. And even as of right now in Denmark, tourists that come to that nation, they'll have limited destinations, and Copenhagen is off limits completely because as of right now, Copenhagen is the hotspot for Denmark. So they want to make sure that any tourists that come in don't go there to contract any new cases. And both nations want to make sure that there's not a second wave. They want to make sure to maintain the success that they've had so far. Now, both populations in each nation are about half the size of Sweden. So again, they want to secure the success that they've had so far. Jumping over here to the US, speaking of COVID-19 and the protests that we've been dealing with, several governors and mayors and public health officials have sounded the alarm after this weekend's rash of protests that have erupted across the nation, and with good reason. DC's Mayor Muriel Bowser, for one, noticed that she saw two different groups of people. There were the protesters who practiced social distancing and wore masks, and the polar opposite, which were folks who didn't wear masks and were, as she put it, quote, on top of one another. But these leaders are mentioning the significance of that risk, given that so many states have just recently reopened. And so they're very careful about the numbers that they have so far, because the only reason they reopened was that their numbers were lowered. So given the protests and the close proximity of everyone that is marching, that opens up the risk for a second wave in any of these particular areas, particularly given the fact that urban areas have been hit the hardest with COVID-19 cases, and urban areas are where most of these protests are taking place. But other governors and mayors that have joined Mayor Bowser's sound of alarm include Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, Maryland Governor Larry Hogan, and New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. These are all leaders who have seen the large outbreaks in their respective states, saw the numbers come down, and are basically urging members of the public to remember that we are still in the midst of a pandemic. While practicing everyone's First Amendment right is important and no one is against it, none of these leaders are against that. They want to remind everyone that we are still in the midst of a pandemic. We are not out of COVID-19 just yet. So to prevent a new wave, please be careful. And that is our admonition to you as well out there. If you want to protest as well, please be sure to simply be careful, practice social distancing, wear your PPE, don't forget it. All right. Now, jumping into our Florida story, one of them. Here in Florida, the National Guard was activated this weekend, courtesy of Governor Ron DeSantis, because of, again, the protests that took place. He activated them Saturday and deployed them Sunday. It was kind of a preparation for what he knew was coming. Now, he deployed 150 National Guardsmen in Miramar, 150 National Guardsmen in Camp Blanding, and 100 in Tampa, all positioned in areas where, the hotspots were expected in terms of major buildings in the Tampa area to prevent possible damage. Now, here in Orange County, Orange County had its share of protesting and damage as well. So, part of 408 was shut down for a while. Therefore, all the on-ramps and off-ramps had to be closed down as a result of what was going on this weekend. Another protest managed to temporarily shut down I-4 between Ivanhoe and Amelia. That was, again, very bold. You heard us report on those highway shutdowns in Texas and in California. Folks, please be careful. Protesting on a highway is legally unlawful. So please do not do that. From Florida National News to you, please don't do that. However, as a result of some of the protests, unfortunately, tear gas did have to be deployed, or OPD made that tweet over the weekend saying that they did have to utilize tear gas to push back some of the protesters and contain the unrest. And as you guys heard us report yesterday, as a result of these, the curfew was put in place from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. As of right now, that curfew is indefinite. However, as Mayor Demings clarified today in his press conference, the curfew was not instituted to curb or limit protesting at all. It's not his intention to limit anyone's First Amendment right. He mentioned that the risk of everyone gathering in close proximity and not wearing PPE at all, that undermines his goal and Orange County's goal of bringing down the COVID-19 numbers and maintaining safety for the Orange County community. So he shared that today. Now, speaking of Orange County, a bit of good news in the Orange County area. The funding, the CARES funding that Orange County was able to secure, which is $243 million, that the application process will begin next Monday, June 8th. However, the website with the information you will need went live today at noon. So if you want to find out more about what you need to submit, what paperwork you'll need to submit if you're an Orange County resident to apply, just visit ocfl.net/Orange Cares. Now, and anyone who is in District 6 in Orange County Commissioner Victoria Siplin will be doing a virtual town hall this evening at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook Live. So be sure to tune into the Pine Hills Community Council Facebook page to be able to catch that virtual town hall to find out more. Last week, Commissioner Myra Uribe of District 3 hosted a town hall as well. So several of the different commissioners are providing their constituents information on how to secure the funding. Now, as of right now, we're going to take a quick commercial break, guys. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with your business, sports, and entertainment.
We wanted to move back home to be closer to his family. We decided to go with pods because things were stressful enough.
We weren't sure how long we were going to need storage for, so we needed something that was flexible, and then they can deliver the container to wherever we move to.
We haven't found the perfect house yet, but we're still looking.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for sticking with us. Now, jumping to your business story, a bit of sad news. Pier 1 Imports is officially going out of business. Now, the company had actually filed bankruptcy back in February, but as a result of all the proceedings, the ultimate decision was that the nearly 60-year-old company is actually better served in liquidating all of their assets. So as of right now, they're going to close all 500 of their remaining stores. They were originally over 1,000 stores, but they couldn't quite keep up over the last few years in competition with some of the bigger box merchants like Target and Walmart. And as a result, particularly after the pandemic hit, they had to close things down. Now, the other thing to note with these guys is that they officially will be shuttered by October. Like, all the stores will be closed by October. Any orders done on the website, they will continue to fulfill them. But the company does plan to sell its website and all of its intellectual property by July. So if you're someone who was a fan and you were placing orders, just make sure you're taken care of by July, because by then the website will be completely gone. And in a similar story, another furniture and home goods merchant Tuesday morning, they're more of a discount retailer, but they just filed for bankruptcy last week as well. So rest in peace, Pier 1 Imports. We'll continue to keep you guys updated with business news as it relates to COVID-19 or businesses that are beginning to reopen. Now, jumping over to sports, a bit of great news. Brad Keselowski has gotten another win. This past Sunday, he won at Bristol Motor Speedway. He also won last week with the Coca-Cola 600. So congrats to him for 2 wins under his belt. As of right now, he is the first driver to win multiple races in the 5 Cup events since NASCAR reopened back on May 17th. So he's putting in some serious work. His win on Sunday was a result of him kind of holding his ground after Joey Logano and Chase Elliott had collided. But he was able to get that win. And as you saw in the photo, even he is practicing safety with his mask. So congrats again to Brad Keselowski and all of Team Penske. Now we're going to take one more quick commercial break, guys, before we bring you the entertainment story. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
At Duke Energy, we deliver electricity and so much more, like free home energy assessments, rebates for energy-saving improvements, payment options to help you better manage your budget, and even bill credits for helping the community use less energy. So no matter what you're doing, we can help you make better energy choices every day. It's just another way we bring power to your life. How much can you save?
Welcome back, guys. Thanks again for sticking with us. We're going to close out with your entertainment story for the day. Basically, all of the major streaming platforms have decided to support the Black Lives Matter movement, or as at least has put out statements in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. A lot of them over the weekend changed their handles, their Twitter handles, to the hashtag Black Lives Matter. And Netflix, for their part, made a grave statement Saturday afternoon saying, quotes, "To be silent is to be complicit. Black Lives Matter. We have a platform and we have a duty to our Black members, employees, creators, and talent to speak up." Now, YouTube on Friday decided to put their money where their mouth is, and they shared, quotes, "We stand in solidarity against racism and violence. When members of our community hurt, we all hurt. We're pledging $1 million in support of efforts to address social injustice," end quote. So far, they're the first ones to announce the money part of it. So, congrats to YouTube for, taking action in either direction. Now, a lot of the other streaming platforms as well, Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO Max, TBS, TNT, all of these guys, even the gaming streaming platform Twitch has also made their statements in support of the African American community, the Black Lives Matter movement. Viacom, CBS, Starz, and Disney also shared their statements in support of the African American community and decried the murder of George Floyd. So just a bit of entertainment update there, a very deep one. But we'll continue to keep you guys posted where that's concerned in all aspects of responses as it relates to George Floyd's death. But that'll do it for us here at the FNN News Rundown. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. A bit of a quick programming note for you. Our lovely Casey Hudson will be back tonight with the FNN Sports Take. And as for me, you will see me twice tomorrow. Tomorrow, you'll see me at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our FNN Politics and Power series, in which we'll be interviewing Florida State Senator Randolph Bracey. And I'll be back again tomorrow afternoon with the FNN News, the Evening News Rundown. So be sure to stay tuned tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, and you'll catch me twice tomorrow. But thanks for tuning in so far. Have a great rest of your Monday afternoon. Take care.